God, oh my God, did something just touch me?
What?
It's turning like that way.
It's so much creepier when you're by yourself.
No. What did you say? Direction. Hello?
Tonight, we look at 6 disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. Real moments, real danger. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying footage like this. Let's begin. This footage was captured by Finn Brenton, the adventurer behind the popular YouTube channel Fanatic, where he documents his wild journeys across the globe. In this clip, Finn and his friend Jacqueline venture into Freetown State Forest in Massachusetts, a location often referred to as one of the most haunted forests in the world, known for its disturbing history involving cult rituals, disappearances, and tragic events. This dense woodland is wrapped in mystery. It's September 2nd, 2023. Due to strict regulations against overnight stays, Finn and Jacqueline park their car far from any main trail and stealthily set up camp. Even with daylight still lingering, the atmosphere feels heavy with unease. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the two attempt to keep the mood light, preparing a simple meal and trying to distract themselves with casual conversation. But the tension soon becomes impossible to ignore.
Yep. What? You heard something? Oh my God, did something just touch me?
What?
It's turning like that way. It's turning the actual big light that way.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Oh my God, holy f. Maybe it was just like the tent rubbing up my back. No, dude, that's not what that was. There's no way.
The way you're straddling me, I know you're scared of me.
Look at my hands. I don't know if it's probably like the fact that we're out here and that's like tripping me out, but I swear when I turned right there, something like through the tent just like touched my back.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
There's no way. I like that's the only thing like keeping me okay right now. There's no way that's absolutely possible. Unless there's someone behind me right now and they're just listening to me talk about this. That's the only way that would be possible. Oh my God, dude, look at my hands. I can't stop shaking, bro.
Not long after they begin settling in, unsettling sensations creep in. One of them feels something brush against their back from outside the tent. An unexplained contact that sends a wave of fear through them. First, they try to dismiss it as fabric shifting or nerves, but their expressions say otherwise. Something feels wrong.
We're tripping out right now. We've heard a few things. One that I thought was a scream. It's a fox. Foxes kind of sound like that.
I don't think it was a fox.
As darkness deepens around the tent, strange noises begin to echo from the woods. Distant, distorted, and chilling. One of the sounds eerily resembles a scream. They try to reason with each other, considering possibilities like wildlife, perhaps a fox, but doubt lingers. Unnerved, they huddle inside the tent, too frightened to investigate. The tension builds throughout the night as occasional cries and unexplained sounds continue to filter through the forest.
That smoke that you see down there, that is the water burning through the bottom of our tent. What is that?
What is making that sound?
It sounds like a perk. Okay, it got a little bit creepier because now we have this on top, so you really cannot see out of the tent. Bro, why does it sound like someone is crying? I'm out. I don't know what to do because I'm not doing that. That'll forever be a no from me. Yeah, walking out of there took so unbelievably long. Oh, that night really tripped me out.
By early morning, the atmosphere hasn't improved. As they attempt to cook breakfast, they begin to notice more strange occurrences. Steam rises oddly from beneath the tent, and the sounds outside shift from vague rustling to something far more disturbing, what sounds like sobbing. With their nerves frayed, they finally decide they've had enough. Grabbing their belongings, Finn and Jacqueline quickly pack up and leave, moving as fast as they can through the dense forest. The night behind them feels like something out of a nightmare. What exactly happened in those woods remains unclear. Was it a mix of natural wildlife, wind, and overstimulation? Or did they experience something darker, something tied to the forest's long and troubling history? Freetown State Forest has long been associated with reports of ritualistic activity, strange sightings, and disembodied screams. Whatever the explanation, one thing is certain. Finn and Jacqueline weren't imagining their fear. They were lucky to have each other that night. But imagine being alone. When the sounds start, the shapes shift and the silence breaks. What would you do if something reached out from the darkness, and you were the only one there to hear it? Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. This next encounter features Bear, the adventurer behind the popular Exploring with Bear channel, on one of his solo winter camping trips deep in the North American wilderness. The region is known for frigid temperatures, and even more chilling legends. Among those, stories of mysterious creatures lurking in the woods. Some say Bigfoot territory. The date is February 6, 2024. As the cold sets in, Bear begins his usual camping routine, setting up his tent, building a fire, and settling in for what should be a peaceful night. But the night would prove to be anything but ordinary.
Pretty cool. You can hear like the wind starting way down there, and you can hear it like coming all the way up through, and like even when it goes up over you, it's pretty cool. You can hear it coming. You guys hear that? Sounds like somebody whistling. And that's impossible. I mean, not impossible, but highly improbable. That's a tree squeaking. Sounds like something walking.
While lying in his tent, Bear listens to the wind sweep through the forest. A strangely soothing sound at first, but before long, something else cuts through the silence. At first, it's subtle, an unusual noise far off in the distance. A whistle, maybe. Then it happens again. Something about the sound feels out of place, too deliberate. Bear becomes uneasy, questioning whether he's hearing natural forest sounds or something else entirely.
This live I did out here, right before I left, there was a light right back in there. Yeah, so much creepier when you're by yourself. And like I said, there's so many frickin' sounds out here right now, making it even spookier. I start getting in my own head.
Curiosity gets the better of him, and he steps out into the icy night to investigate. The air bites at his skin as he scans the tree line, but there's no clear source for the noise. Still, the strange sounds persist.
Man, my hands are freaking freezing now. Whoa, what was that? Man, I sure hope none of these big trees side on blowing down tonight. What is that? If that moves, I might poop my pants. What is that thing? Huh. Man, guys, it is getting cold out. I'm not sure what time it is again. I'm gonna have to check. I gotta get in the tent though. My hands, I should have my gloves on, but whoa. My fingers are hurting.
The deeper into the woods he looks, the more unnerving it becomes. His hands begin to go numb in the cold, and the vast darkness seems to press in around him. Bear decides to return to the warmth of his tent, but the night has only just begun.
And there was just something was growling out there. I am armed, but man, that sounded scary. See if it growls again. That was scary. My heart's about to pound out of my chest. That was a crazy sound.
Later, while trying to rest, Bear hears a low growl just outside his shelter. It's close, too close. He reaches for his camera, hoping to document the moment. But whatever made the sound is now silent.
I don't hear anything now. It's been a couple minutes. I didn't even hear it walking around at all. It was just a growl. It's sort of like a snort growl. I don't know. Weird to explain.
Then, the growling returns, followed by something that sounds like a snort. Not quite an animal. Not quite human. Bear stays inside the tent, heart pounding, clutching his gear.
Maybe we'll be able to catch the sunrise. I've still heard some weird stuff off camera too. I don't really hear anything right now. I can hear the snow falling though, like hitting the tent, now that all that snow just fell off. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Something was scratching the tent. And it walked halfway around it scratching. Something's walking out there. Better be ready.
For a while, the forest goes quiet again. But just as sleep starts to feel possible, another sound cuts through the stillness. Something is scratching the outer fabric of the tent. Slow, deliberate. Then, footsteps, the sound of movement around the perimeter. Bear readies himself. He listens, holding his breath. But nothing more happens. Eventually, the first light of dawn breaks through the trees. He emerges from the tent, shaken but unharmed. He packs up quickly and leaves the woods behind, uncertain of what exactly he encountered out there. So what was it? A curious animal, disturbed by the smell of food? Or something more unusual? The growls didn't match any local wildlife Bear was familiar with, and the way the scratching and footsteps came and went in total silence, that's harder to explain. Some viewers speculate it could have been a predator like a cougar or bear. Others point toward more cryptic explanations, particularly given the location's association with Bigfoot legends. Bear made it through the night, but barely. The strange sounds, the growling, the scratching, none of it has a clear answer. So what do you think was circling that tent? This footage comes from the TikTok account, The Bonehead, a page well known for sharing strange and unsettling moments caught on camera. In this clip, we follow three friends during a spring camping trip on the night of May 10th, 2024. What began as a calm evening around the campfire quickly spiraled into something much more disturbing, an event that left them questioning what they had witnessed. The night seemed ordinary. The group was relaxing by the fire, talking and laughing, when an unexpected sound broke through the silence, one that would change everything.
That was a f***ing child screaming.
Joe, listen.
Or like a f***ing woman or something. That was a female screaming, Phil.
Out of nowhere, a piercing scream echoed from deep within the forest. It was high-pitched, sharp, and unnervingly human, resembling the cry of a child or woman in distress. Shocked, the group froze, trying to make sense of the sound.
I don't know what to tell you, but...
Please, please, please.
Oh, fuck.
No.
It's not fucking closer, man.
One of them instinctively pulled out a phone to begin recording, hoping to catch proof in case it happened again. Moments later, it did. Another scream erupted, this time louder, closer, and far more intense. It echoed through the trees, sending a wave of fear through the campsite. The group stood in place, caught between fear and curiosity. The forest had fallen silent again, but the tension lingered. Uncertain whether to investigate or retreat, they ultimately decided to stay near their camp. The risk of getting lost or encountering something they couldn't explain was too high. They remained alert, scanning the woods for any movement, the fire now their only source of comfort. What exactly caused those screams remains unknown. Some viewers have speculated it could have been a fox or other animal known to make human-like sounds. Others are convinced it was something else. Perhaps someone crying for help, or something trying to lure them deeper into the woods. The fact that the sound repeated, grew closer, and ceased entirely after a short time has only deepened the mystery. They left without ever finding the source, but what if they had followed the sound? Would they have found someone in need, or something waiting? Sometimes the scariest part of the forest isn't what you see, but what you hear. This footage comes from the YouTube channel TGF Bro, run by two daring friends, Jay and Ramel, who are known for pushing limits with their wildest challenges and haunted explorations. In this particular video, Jay, Ramel, and two other friends journey deep into one of the UK's most feared locations, Darwin's Wood. This forest carries a sinister legacy, with a history of disappearances and grim discoveries stretching back over a century. Locals have dubbed it the Screaming Woods, a name earned by the unexplainable cries often. Josh is an outdoor enthusiast and the creator behind the channel Camping with Josh, known for documenting wild solo adventures in remote settings. On this particular trip, filmed on September 5th, 2024, he set out to explore one of England's oldest forests, on a foggy, rain-soaked day that would soon turn unsettling. Excited for a peaceful night under the stars, Josh ventured deep into the woods, eventually finding what seemed to be a perfect clearing for his shelter. But from the very beginning, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As Josh prepared his camp, gathering firewood and setting up his tarp, the sounds of nature were interrupted by something unusual. Movement in the bushes nearby drew his attention. At first, he dismissed it, thinking it might have been small animals or the sound of raindrops hitting the underbrush.
I'm just literally sat over there trimming the wood down, cutting it down how I like it, and I can just hear some mad movement going on in those bushes over there. I can't tell if it's like the rainfall just making quite a commotion, or there may be rabbits or deers maybe walking through, or any dog walkers or whatever, I don't know. Bit spooky.
Still, curiosity got the better of him, and he checked the area. Finding nothing out of place, he returned to his campfire. But the sense of unease persisted. Later, heavier footsteps echoed from deeper within the trees.
When the camera was off, I heard some really heavy movements in the bushes, and I'm pretty sure I saw something in the bushes as well. As I was standing still, there was this movement there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave my tarp here in the woods. My bag is already packed. I'm just going to grab what I can grab and come back here in the morning, and maybe just do a bit more talking with you there. So I think it's important to be real with you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna pack up. I guess I could take this tarp away, but I just don't really want to. Alright, I'm gonna go, guys.
The forest, once filled with birdsong, had gone eerily silent. It wasn't just the weather. Something had shifted. Josh scanned the area again, unnerved by the sudden stillness. He tried to convince himself it was nothing, but his instincts told him otherwise.
Hello! I apologise, it's not really the vibe I go by. I'm all about having fun, relaxing, and being peaceful, cooking good food and good vibes.
When the camera wasn't rolling, Josh heard another burst of movement, and this time, he thought he saw something in the bushes. The sight was fleeting but unmistakable. He stood frozen, trying to make sense of what he had just seen. The atmosphere had changed completely. The forest no longer felt like a place for camping. It felt like something, or someone, was watching. With nightfall approaching and uncertainty rising, Josh made a difficult decision. He would leave his shelter behind, grab what he could, and return in the daylight. It wasn't the experience he had hoped to share with his viewers, but it was the right call. As he packed, he tried one last time to make sense of the sounds. Calling out into the forest, he hoped to hear a voice, any voice, that might identify a fellow hiker or explain the strange events. But the silence that followed was louder than anything else. Josh left the woods without incident, but deeply disturbed. Something had changed the tone of the forest, and it wasn't just the rain. What exactly caused the sudden silence, the strange movements, and the persistent feeling of being watched? Some speculate it may have been an animal, perhaps a large predator keeping its distance. Others believe it could have been a person, watching from the trees, staying just out of sight. But there's one consistent element. Josh trusted his instincts. And given how quickly things escalated, that may have been what kept him safe. Josh left the forest with more questions than answers. But what if he hadn't? What if he stayed, and the noises crept closer? Would anyone have heard from him again? In this chilling solo adventure, we follow Dan, the creator behind the Novice Wild Camper YouTube channel, as he embarks on a night he'll never forget. It's October 5th, 2024. The setting, Dartmoor National Park in England. A cool autumn breeze sweeps across the rugged landscape as Dan arrives, eager for a peaceful night beneath the stars. He sets up camp, builds a small fire, and enjoys a quiet meal, completely immersed in the stillness of nature. Everything seems perfect. But as darkness settles across the moor, that calm is broken. Tired from the day's hike,
it'll stop now, won't it? Just hear it then. way away.
Dan climbs into his tent, ready for rest. But not long after lying down, an eerie sound disrupts the silence. A low growl echoes through the vast open terrain, distant but unmistakable. It's not the kind of sound one expects to hear in such a remote place. Though Dan hadn't planned on filming, he instinctively reaches for his camera, hoping to document the unsettling moment.
If this long campus is quiet, I'll cut it out. Do you hear that?
The strange sound continues, soft but persistent. It drifts through the night air, growing and fading in waves. With no idea what might be out there, Dan chooses to stay in his tent, keeping quiet and alert. Eventually, the noise begins to fade, swallowed by the night. Dan remains motionless, unsure whether it's truly gone or just waiting nearby. He spends the rest of the night in silence, unable to sleep, his imagination haunted by what he might have encountered. By morning, the forest is quiet again, but the memory of that sound remains. So what did Dan hear that night? Some viewers have suggested it might have been a fox or a wild dog. Others, something more elusive. Dartmoor is known for its legends, including mysterious creatures and unexplained sightings. Could it have been a wild animal protecting its territory? Or something that doesn't fit any known category? Dan made it through the night unharmed, but deeply unsettled. So here's the question. If you were alone in the wilderness and heard something growling just beyond the light of your campfire, would you wait it out or run? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.